So it's October, Halloween month. So I thought I would start out with something that is scary to me and find out what your thoughts are about and what kinds of things you're struggling with in terms of things that scare you in your life, things that scare you as a parent or in your marriage or with friends. Um, because I was sitting thinking about this actually the other day, yesterday, when I took my kids up to school. We did the normal usual walk up the hill, and then on the way back, my third daughter, who has sensory dysregulation issues, she overreacts to little tiny things like tags in her shirts and her socks being itchy and that kind of stuff. And it's pretty mild for her, but when she's stressed or a little bit tired, which you are after a month of the new school routine, she lost it on the way home from school. My older two daughters have bipolar and ADHD, and so their impulse control is really not there, especially in the morning. So they had really overloaded her before we went up to school. It was Thursday morning. She'd been to school every day that week. Her preschool's half day, but it's every day. And so as we came back from dropping off the older sisters at school, she completely lost it. She just wouldn't do anything that I asked. I used every tool that I've read in a parenting book. I kept it positive. I made it a game. I went up and met her halfway. I said, "Hey, let's do this." I tried to distract or, reorient her onto something else. I, gave her incentives. I did everything I could, and she was screaming, running back up the hill. Just totally not engaging with anything that I had brought into the picture. And so finally, I sat down on the curb with my other daughter, who's 2, who was in the stroller, and I just sat and I had tears in my eyes, and I thought, I don't know what to do in this situation. I'm on a street corner with my little girl, not knowing how I'm going to get my other one back to the house without a massive fight. Parents are walking by. Everybody's got some kind of a look on their face like, what is wrong with this family? And I just sat there and I waited for her to come. And so I played a little game with the other one, hoping, a little bit that would draw her over. And she eventually came, but as soon as I turned my attention to her, she was overloaded even by that. And I had to grab her, trade out the little one from the stroller, stick her in. She's ripping her clothes off. Just like she was naked by the time I got back to my house. The shoes were flying, the clothes were flying, all of it was too much sensory overload for her. I had to just put the hood of the stroller down over her to try and cut the light out and make things less stimulating. And, in that moment, I felt like the crappiest parent in the entire planet. I don't think I can do this. And you're not allowed to have those kinds of crazy hangups because your sisters are so hard to deal with, which of course I then also feel crappy for because, yeah, of course she has the right to feel however she feels. And it doesn't matter that half of our family has lots of issues. She still has, she has the right to have huge things going on with her too. But boy, was I feeling sorry for myself as a parent, and boy, was I feeling scared about how am I going to do this over time? I don't even know how I'm going to do this with 3 kids with really intense needs and a toddler. So, there are days like that for us. There are days like that in our lives at work with people we know in our families as parents. The only thing that got me through that was knowing that the only thing that life is sure to do is move on. And I knew that this moment would end at some point, that I would get through it. So I sat with it, and I sat with the cruddy feeling and the inadequacy and the fear and the anxiety, and I sat with the sensation of being totally judged by people that were walking by, watching what was going on and how helpless I must have looked to them. And I let it go. And so I wanted to see what kinds of things are scaring you right now. What kinds of things are hard to face? What kinds of moments are hard to fully be in because they hurt too much or they're too frustrating or scary or embarrassing? Give yourself a chance to sit in those. We don't have to run away from the things that we're scared of. It's a mark of courage not to be lacking in fear, but to be terrified and to just saddle up anyway. And so I just encourage you this week to think about the things that are scaring you, to look at them straight in the eye, tell them you're not going down without a fight. That's what I'm going to do. We'll see you next time.